that also you do give yourself grace. There's something that you mentioned earlier about how sometimes bosses or employers or somebody above you can think they're pushing you, but they may be pushing you too far to end up making mistakes.
Yes.
But also looking at how you handle the whole thing, that last time I made a mistake. I stopped the music, right? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But this time again, I make the same mistake, but at least I now know what to do.
Yes.
There's light. Eventually, I'll stop making
I'll
that
stop.
mistake.
I won't be pausing because I'll go, whoa, I know what that is.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I really love that you're allowing yourself to make the mistakes and you're allowing yourself to grow.
Yeah.
Also, I know that you're new into this DJ thing, but is it like a sustainable career? Is it something that a person can actually go into and say, nah, I want to be a DJ and this is it?
I think much like everything, it can be sustainable, but I definitely, if I wasn't a YouTuber and TV presenter and stuff, I don't think I would be doing it like full time.
Sure.
So I think there is sustainability in it, but it's tough. Hey, the music business is tough. I wouldn't be this jovial about it if I didn't have a job already.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't. Like the numbers that people pay, like sure, some people are like, oh yeah, Sibu's probably like he needs to be paid more. But the initial numbers that I always see and that I ask other DJs, I'm like, guys, what are you guys eating? Like, what are you? It's tough out there, especially as a DJ. I think if you want to be a DJ, what I've learned in the short time that I have done it is you have to try and create your own music. Even if it's not the best music in the world, it's fine. You have to do it though, because that's when I think people get paid more, is when they get paid to go play their own music at events and stuff. So it's doable. But man, from what I've seen so far, people are not getting paid, Yvonne. Your favorite DJs that you see, they're not making money. That's why they have to have they're always complaining, why do I have to be a social media person also? Why do I have to make video content of my DJ sets? Because that's the way the world is now. The biggest DJs are the biggest DJs on social media and who are the most visible. So, kunzima.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's speak literal numbers.
Sure.
What's the minimum you've been paid and most you've been paid?
In terms of DJing or YouTube?
DJing. No, not
DJ.
YouTube.
DJing, I haven't been paid much, dude. I think for the hour, 3.5.
Okay.
And the least is like nothing. I just offered to go and DJ.
I feel like that's decent for a person that has so much things happening, like your other jobs, you know.
For me, it's fine. Yes,
you know. And I think also people may think, oh my God, Sibu has been moving around a lot. But what I love about, I don't want to call it hustle, like, because I know it's not hustle, but I'll use the word hustle.
Sure.
You hustling around and all of that, it gives you the freedom and the liberty to sort of carefully try out new things.
It does.
Because now you're able to say, I want to learn this thing. I want to be a master at this. I'm willing to do it for free because I've got a stream of income, right? And therefore, you're able to learn properly. You have no pressures. You are not competing with anyone and all of that.
If I don't get a gig for a month, it's okay,
fine, you know, because it doesn't like sort of pay your rent, you know.
Correct.
But also I can imagine the stress of a person that is just straight out of university or that is just saying, I'm a DJ. You know, I can imagine, and already looking at you already have a name for yourself. And imagine still being having to accept 3.5. So imagine a person that does not have a name, that has no marketing, has no
People are
nothing.
getting paid 250 to be there for 3 hours.
Imagine that is wild, and it does look difficult. You know, my stress is always. There's so many buttons.
There's a lot of buttons. And then there's drunk people around you. Can I please? They're greeting you while you're supposed to be me. It's tough, yeah. But I agree with that. I to be honest with you, if I didn't have YouTube, if I didn't have TV shows like on SABC and Channel O, I don't think I'd be putting so much effort into it. But because I have the means to do that, and that's one of the things that I'm so grateful for YouTube, is because it allows me to be able to do other things with my life and explore other things.
No, I really love that, right? And then, before we go into really you presenting, you mentioned something about sponsors, right? So if a person is new and is trying to go into the industry, how then do they approach sponsors? How do they get themselves out there?
Okay. So first I'll tell you the 3 different ways that I predominantly make money. So like we said, the YouTube ads, right? And then with the sponsors, there's 2 two different ways. One, they have me on their content. So they'll like call me and say, can you come on our pages and like do something, or we have a shoot and then we'll post it on our pages. And then the other way is me saying this video is sponsored by, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever.
Sorry to interrupt. Now, on the part where you say YouTube, this video is sponsored by, like, then how do they then pay you? Do they pay you according to the views that you get on that video?
No, ma'am. It's a set pay before. You are going to pay me whether the video gets the views or not. You are going to pay me. We're obviously going to try and get like the most amount of numbers or whatever it is. But no, you pay before. You don't pay per view. Maybe I know there are certain places that do that. I don't think it's a South African thing to pay per view. So what tends to happen is, okay, now I have like business managers and stuff, so they deal with all of that. But let's say 5 years ago, I would get an email. The email will come in and say, hi, we are Valpre Water, whatever. We would like to be on a social page of yours. What can you do? I'll say, how much is your budget? This is if they don't already come with exactly what they want. How much is your budget? I have this. Okay, I can give you one YouTube video, an Instagram post, not a reel, and I can give you a tweet. And then they'll pay for that, for that amount. And then, so that's how it's been working for me for the last couple of years. And I say this to everybody, like numbers matter. Don't ever get it twisted. But the loyalty is what matters more. I say this humbly. I say this. There are lots of people who have more numbers than me, but I make more money than them. And it's purely just because of the audience that I have. The audience is stuck in. They are loyal. They listen. They will engage, and they will buy. If it's something that they do want to buy that I'm now selling, they will go and they'll do that. They will tag the brands and say, oh, I bought this because of Sibu. People bought cars because of me, which shocked me to this day. But so that's the thing. So that's how the sponsors work, and that's where most of my money comes from. They come, they say, Sibu, what can you give us? We have 20,000, we have 30,000, we have 100,000, whatever it is. What can you give us? And then I go, I can give you this, and this. Not this. You're not paying enough for this, this, and that. And then that's how I've been going about my life. Yeah.
So it's ads, and then it's sponsorships. And then you had said they three.
So I'm saying with the sponsorships, it's two ways. Either I can go on theirs or I can create the content. They're asking me to do that. And then the other ways, which are outside of YouTube, like you were saying with the radio and stuff, it's my TV shows on my Channel O show, my SABC show, the gaming show. That's also the other ways, which is really, really nice. TV, I didn't start this thing to get into TV, but it has been one of the highest paying like forms of media that I've been doing right now. Yeah, which is really nice.
All right, love that. So now you moved to Joburg. Yes. When you moved to Joburg, you didn't have plans of doing radio and all of that.
No radio.
But you end up in radio. Tell us about that.
So yeah, I moved to Joburg. I didn't have any of those plans. Not to be a radio. Not that I didn't want to be, but I didn't think that's what was going to happen. No radio, no TV, no emceeing or anything like that. Sorry, please repeat your question. I was just thinking of it. It lost me.
Okay, so you moved to Joburg, right? And you end up in radio.
Yes. Oh, how did that happen? Got you. So with radio, it's quite interesting. I started radio at UCT.
Okay.
During that time that I was spending a lot of time in the computer labs, I also was spending time in a society called UCT Radio. So I started at UCT Radio just looking for a place to hang out, to meet people. And I fell in love with it. I really, really loved it. And one of the people that taught me there, I had like a 3 a.m. graveyard shift. One of the people that taught me, her name was Carissa Cupido. And she went on to get on like Good Hope FM in Cape Town. So she, big deal in radio. I moved to Joburg. My second year in Joburg, so now it's 2018, I get a call from Carissa Cupido. It's now 2018. Keep in mind the UCT radio was 2015. Now it's 2018. She calls me, hey, I got a gig at YFM, so I'm moving up to Joburg. I'm looking for a producer. I really love the stuff you've been producing on YouTube. I think you could come up with really interesting topics for us to talk about. I said, bet, I'm keen. And I went and that's literally how I got a job at UCT Radio. And then they said, we hired you as a producer, but the station manager was like, she just showed me your YouTube videos, so I can tell you can talk. Would you like to also co-present? Fortunately, we can't pay you. We want you here as a producer. But if that's something you want to do, I'm happy to put you in as a presenter. I said, bet, let's do this. That's literally how I got the job. the person who had taught me years prior then came back and said, I remember teaching you. You were wonderful to work with. Also, I see what you're doing now by YouTube. YouTube ended up getting me that job. So that's how it happened. Yeah.
I think also it goes back to the whole chat of just be, and be a good person, because I can imagine if you were not that of a great person, she was probably not
She
going to
wouldn't have thought
remember
of me,
you,
no.
and she wouldn't have called you. But like, leave a mark. Do the best you
100%.
can, leave a mark. It may not work for you in real time, but in future, people are going to remember you in rooms you've never entered.
My Channel O show, I asked the producer, like, why did you decide to choose me to be the presenter? What? Oh, Chomiyako from 2016 I was speaking to her and I said, hey, there's a show that I'm producing. Like, is there anyone on the top of it? She said, Sibu Mpanza, go find him. He's your guy. From years ago, a friend I hadn't spoken to in a long time. So 100% on your point. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. And then one of the things that I've noticed about the campaigns you do, they're very aligned to who you are. Like, I don't think I've ever cringed. So there's certain people, individuals, when they do campaigns, you're like, no, but Sibu, I've never seen you drink sparkling water. But I've realized with your campaigns, you're so, like, it matches your energy. It's never offside. How do you get to do that? How do you end up in such a perfect campaign?
So I think the thing that works for me very well is, and to be honest with you, sometimes the things aren't fully aligned, but then I'll go spend my time with that thing to see if I enjoy it, to see if I feel it. But I also think because of the type of creator I am as a lifestyle creator, almost anything, I can sell almost anything because I'm a multifaceted person.
Sure.
You can't tell me, Sibu, you were telling us about the shoes this week. Now you're telling us this. Yeah, because I use both of them, dog. Like, what are you asking me? I use all this stuff. So I think that's definitely what's helped, but also it's over time, man. It's a skill also. And I think people don't appreciate that. I'm very glad that you brought that up. It's a skill to be able to talk about things, to talk about products in a way that people can relate to, in a way that doesn't feel very forced. But it's a muscle you have to exercise all the time to be able to say this. My partner will see something that I'm working on and she'll be like, how are you going to talk about this thing? And I'll sit there and I'll think, okay, how can this relate to me? How can I make... So it's a lot of skills. Also copywriting, being able to, articulate yourself in a way that people will listen. It's a skill. It's a skill. It's a muscle that you have to stretch. Yeah.
You keep exercising it and exercising it.
Yep.
Okay. I've really learned so much from this episode. And I hate that it has to come to an end.
We'll come back for another episode. I'll come. Don't worry. I'll be back.
Listen, and
Part
that time
2.
I'm sure, but we approach you say,
Watch. We'll play one of my songs here. We'll play one of my songs.
Yeah, but what is the season of your life called, if you were to name it?
Oh man, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think I have regressed a little bit in terms of, like I was saying in the beginning, my risk taking. I think I've gotten very scared over time. I've been hurt and I've become a person who's very, I won't do this. I won't. Even sitting here, I'm inspired. There's things that I want to do in this sort of format, but I've been too scared. I'm like, who's going to come and sit with me on the couch and talk? But that's the season. It's being comfortable with being uncomfortable. If anything makes me feel a little uncomfortable, I don't run away. I go, why?
Sure.
Why is that making you feel uncomfortable? And then I just go further. I push harder into it.
I love that. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
100%.
Love that. To a person at home who may be going through identity crisis, no career, they don't know what to do, but have talents, gifts, and all of that, what would you say to them to encourage them?
I say listen to your gut. Number one, listen to your gut. Listen to how you feel when you do things. It can be very difficult in this day and age. Like you were saying in the beginning, everybody wants to push you in a certain direction. And it can feel very odd when you want to take a bit of a left. But I say listen to your gut. Listen to what makes you beam. Also your friends, your family, the people that value you, they will know. They will know what makes you, what makes your heart sing. So I always, my whole life has been listening to my heart, listening to my gut and what I want to do. And so that's always my advice to everybody is do what makes you happy. Do what makes you thrive. Because if you do things that don't make you thrive, it might be fine now. In 2 or 3 years, that stuff, it catches up with you. So do what you love. find what you love and try your best to do that. I know it's not easy what I'm saying, it's not cut and dry,
Sure.
but try your best to do what you love. Yeah.
Okay. And in closing, what has been the best part of the different career paths you've taken?
Oh, that is such a good question. I think my TV show with my best friend. I think I am so fortunate to have a show with OK Wasabi. Not many people get to say, I have a TV show with my friend. Like we get to sit there and throw jokes on SABC3,
Inside jokes
right?
and- yeah.
On TV for millions of people to watch. So that I think that is definitely one of my top 3 highlights of my career is having we're about to shoot a season 4 now, which is unreal to me. And together, and the fact that we've managed to grow together for this long. So definitely a massive career highlight is having a TV show, getting to talk about video games, the PlayStation
Sure.
on TV with my best friend. Definitely, yeah.
I love that. And it even makes you so happy. I can
It
tell
does.
from the way you're beaming with
Yeah.
joy. Anyway, thank you so much for honoring my
course.
invite. And I think meeting you came at a very perfect time,
It
because the day I actually said hi to you at the gym, I've been thinking about you as my guest, right? But I didn't think it was possible, right? So when I bumped into you at the gym and I was like, I don't know if you remember, I was so scared. I was like, hi.
You
and I wanted
left.
to-
I was like, we're
Yes.
still talking, dude.
and then you tried to bring me back in conversation and I was like, okay, there's a comfort space there. Let me approach him.
Yeah.
And I was just crossing my fingers. And when I got the yes, I felt like a little girl. I was so excited. It was a full circle moment for me.
glad,
Thank you
Oh,
so much.
Absolute pleasure. Please
Thank
bring me
you.
back. I will be back.
Definitely. To everybody at home, I hope you learned something. This was fun. I enjoyed it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And happy Employment Wednesdays. See you soon.